Hey, welcome to the Golden Belt Buckle Podcast. I'm recording a late night episode. I can't be that loud. My little guy is sleeping right now. So I'm outside sitting with the crickets, and I wanted to put this out there. I wasn't even going to shoot a video tonight, and then I was looking at another, a major content creator that up here in Canada, and he was talking about the American response to this Charlie Kirk assassination. And before I get into that, I just want to say, I've been both disappointed by people's responses and actually quite surprised by other people's responses in a positive way. People don't realize you can't pigeonhole people, okay? This is why I talk about moderation on this channel a lot, okay? I've been around a while. I've seen a lot of propaganda in my life. I went for the propaganda BS, when I way back when the Iraq War started. I remember all of that nonsense going on and the lies that were told to the public. And, so I've seen the lies from people, right? I've seen propaganda. I've seen how things are framed to make people look like demons when they're really not. And oftentimes you get digging a little bit deeper and you find out that what you've been told it's not accurate. It's got a little bit of truth in it, but if you just had that one extra detail, you probably wouldn't think the way you did. It would have changed everything, right? And such was the case with Charlie Kirk, okay? I wasn't watching this guy all the time. I would see him when I'm, if I'm flipping through my phone while I'm having a bath or whatever, right? Watching television. And it was always, he was, I know there's things I disagreed with him on, but we had a lot of the same worldview, morally speaking, anyways. And, but there's a lot of people, like I saw, I've seen transgender creators come out against him. There's liberal homosexual creators, people that are coming out expressing their sympathy for his family. Because you know what, just because they're not on the same side doesn't mean that they wanted him dead, right? There is such a thing as debate in this world, okay? Even Nick Fuentes, the even really far-right commentator, came out and had praise to say about Charlie Kirk. So, and then a lot of people on my Facebook, actually, that I know are supporters of LGBTQ issues, I was pleasantly surprised to see them coming out and saying this is absolutely disgusting. Because you know what? There are normal people, that rational people who genuinely they disagree with each other, and they'll get heated when they argue, and at the end of the day, they go about their lives, right? And, for someone, this shooter, I'm going to indulge you a little bit here before getting into this, but this shooter, if his goal was to silence Charlie Kirk, I mentioned this in my short, you screwed up. Because people like myself were like casual viewers, and then others who didn't have a clue who he was, right? Now all of a sudden they're being exposed to him and they're watching his content. And like I said, I see people on my Facebook posting his videos that I would never have thought in a million years are posting his videos in support of him. So they're watching him. So by assassinating him, you amplified his voice, and now everybody is seeing you get destroyed. Your side is getting absolutely obliterated in the arena of ideas, okay? And that can't be what you wanted if you wanted him to be silenced, right? So there's that aspect of it, okay? And then I also mentioned in my short, look, I don't know what it is. People just don't seem to learn. If you don't want the Republicans in office, you probably shouldn't try to assassinate them, and now this is huge, right? They gave Mr. Trump the presidency by trying to take him out, and now they just probably gave the next election away, because this is going to get brought. This isn't going to go away. The news cycle goes quick, but this isn't going to go away, right? This is going to get brought up, and I'm sure tensions will go up. So it's not a good idea to unalive people, and it's also not a good idea to unalive people if you don't like fascism. Like, if you don't like the government coming down on you and you think your freedoms are being taken away now, well, once you start lobbing bullets at each other, well, the government pushes back, right? You can push at the man, but the man is going to push back, right? And that's why, during the COVID lockdowns, I was ready to lose my mind. I was livid. I can say I was pretty close to hating our government because they created two distinct classes of people, right? Those that were essential and those who were not essential. And for a time, I was not essential at first. But I saw other people that were considered not essential, watching their businesses get destroyed, their livelihoods, people that followed the rules, having to start from scratch. Now, of course, the essential class had no empathy for them because they had everything, right? They were still going about life as usual. So I know what it's like. You know, we're going to talk about Tamara Lich at some point here because her sentencing day is coming up. I think it's the 11th of October. It's coming up. And you know, that whole event made me, the lockdowns made me, it pushed me really far right. You know, I was thinking things I never thought before because you know what? When you keep people down, they become radical. I actually learned a lot of lessons, right? People do become radical. But the thing is, if you start firing guns at people and you take it to that level of violence, the government will just come back down on you. Okay, that's why I was happy the Freedom Convoy, they went out peacefully, right? They didn't brawl with the police. They just kind of stood their ground and they got arrested and pushed back, right? You know, I was happy with their conduct, you know, and y'all know that the cops have to remove you at some point. They're not just going to let the whole thing shut down. So I was happy for the Freedom Convoy. They didn't start brawling. So, you know, you need to have moderation. And in this case with you know, Charlie Kirk, I mentioned actually, let's just get into this because I could keep going on. I got a lot of thoughts, right? Maybe I'll mention them at the end, but I want to get into this story. This has now sparked a freedom of speech debate, okay? This is a trucking channel. We talk about trucking issues. And if you're a truck driver who has a fast card, we truck drivers with fast cards who have the privilege of crossing into the US, if you are the type of guy or woman that is happy about what happened over there, you know, maybe you're mad about the tariffs. You don't like it because your guy didn't get elected over there. The one that you thought would be best for your Canadian interest didn't get elected. Well, and so now you're raging and you're mad and you want to see, you're happy about what happened. You had better tread lightly because this story here that I'm going to read a little bit to you, the Americans aren't messing around and they don't care about your free speech. They're starting to they're looking at taking away work visas for people that want to go online and start trashing and celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. They're framing it as a national security issue by the looks of this story. They don't want any more leftist radicals in their country. Okay, they've basically, the leftists declare war by assassinating someone. And I don't think everyone wanted that done, but I don't know how else to say it, okay? But Mr. Trump and his administration are responding in kind, and they're putting the hammer down. As I said, if you don't want the government in your life, getting violent is not a good idea. So let's read this story here a little bit. This is Reuters. Let me get my glasses on really quick. U.S. Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau on Thursday warned that Washington may take action against foreigners, that's you, that's us, praising, rationalizing, or making light of the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, adding that he had directed consular officials to take appropriate actions. In light of, quote, he says, in light of yesterday's horrific assassination of a leading political figure, I want to underscore that foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. He said this in a social media post on platform X. So he said, I have been disgusted to see some on social media praising, rationalizing, or making light of the event and have directed our consular officials to undertake appropriate action. So, it goes on to say, in this one here, listen to this, some users replied to Landau's post with screenshots of accounts and posts, though it was unclear if the accounts they flagged were U.S. visa holders. The State Department's number 2 then replied to some of those comments saying he would direct consular officials to monitor the comments on the post, which as of Thursday afternoon had over 2,000 replies. So Landau went on to say, this administration does not believe that the United States should grant visas to persons whose presence in our country does not align with U.S. national security interests. So they're looking for you. okay? And they're encouraging people to monitor social media, right? They're going to monitor it, but it sounds like they're perfectly happy if people screenshot other people's posts and then send it in to them. I had a friend of mine, he texted me, I'm going to put this link up in my description. He texted me, you can have a look at it. It's a new website has been posted where you can take screenshots of people who are praising, glorifying, or rationalizing this murder, and you can post it up on this website. And this website will give your location. It will tell everyone who you are. It will tell everyone where you work. Basically, they're going to dox you, right? And so on a number of levels, I think that it's a good idea. Just let it blow by. If you didn't like Charlie Kirk, let it blow by, okay? Take the L. You lost this one. What this means for us as truck drivers, okay? Fast card holders, if you think killing someone in cold blood, or because you had a disagreement with them, is grounds to unalive them, you best keep that opinion to yourself, because if they're going after people for their work visas, don't think for 1 second they're not going to come after your fast card as well. So that's the warning. That's what's going on. Anyways, I'm going to cut it off right there. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Till next time, man, I'll say keep the rubber side down, but man, I wish things would just lighten up. Oh my word, I wish things would just lighten up so you'd come on here and talk about something fun. Anyway, if you like what you see, do me a favor, subscribe. I appreciate everybody's subscription. I am perfectly aware that every video I put out is someone's first impression of me. So I appreciate it. You're subscribing to me and that you trust me with that. And anyways, till next time, cheers. Keep the rubber side down.